In Season of the Deep's opening cutscene, we see a Guardian attempt to fly into the portal near the Traveler, the one the Witness created back in Lightfall. From the clip, you can see it doesn't look good, the Guardian's body twisted and mangled in different shapes. The cool part is we actually know who this Guardian is, their backstory, and what they experienced as they tried to enter this portal, and it's pretty terrifying. This Guardian is called Joxer. Before we explain his experience and what he felt trying to enter the portal, let's discuss his awesome backstory. In the Plate of the Great Hunt from Forsaken, Joxer's story begins from what we can gather. He meets an Awoken Techian, Ilin, so he can acquire weapons from the Awoken to fight the Ahamkara who are ravaging Venus. He stands there paranoid as he checks the safety on his weapon multiple times. Ilin appears out of nowhere and questions the Guardian. "You won't need that," Ilin said of the rifle. Joxer kept it in his hands. "All that light and still your key motivation is fear. It's fear that drives you to ask the Queen for help. The Ahamkara are blasting and paving entire regions on Venus," he said. "They wouldn't be so base, they're rewriting Venus." "Whatever, it's a problem I can't punch. Do you have the guns that will help or not?" The massive container lowered itself before the Titan. Ilin lifted the lid and pale cosmic light from within reflected off Joxer's eyes. Long rifles, close quarters weapons, silent killers in the night. All yours to borrow. You must return these when your hunt is complete. "Why?" Joxer frowned. "Those are the conditions of her bargain. Take it or leave it." "Her? The Queen?" Ilin didn't respond. Joxer took the entire container on his back. A time later, Joxer was working as a guard with another Guardian, protecting a train full of crucible weapon shipments belonging to Tex Mechanica. Drifter sneaks into the train, kills some Redjacks, and wanted the weapons for himself. "Listen, brothers, I'm doing all this for a reason. Gambit's for a reason. You think I like going out there with you every day? You're all psychos." "No, I don't like it, but I do it because there's a good reason." He pulled a mote of dark out of his pocket. It glowed coldly. "Think about how many motes of light you've collected over your lifetime. A lot, right?" "I miss my mythoclast," Joxer said. Drifter could hear the frown in his voice. "Yeah, you had a mythoclast? And still the Cabal took the tower. The light failed you, failed me too." Drifter held the mote of dark up to them. "This, though, it's something special. I made them, and you've seen the things you can do when you find even a handful of them. Think long and hard about it." Drifter slung the launcher back on his shoulder and turned to leave without looking back. "Stick with me long enough, and I'll show you what the dark can really do." This would begin Joxer's Gambit arc. They covered up that event there on the train. Drifter took the weapons to give out to people who play Gambit, and sometime later, Drifter would even invite Joxer to the Derelict, wanting him for a new mission. Joxer questioned this at first, but Drifter wanted him to test his new pride and joy called Gambit Prime. Joxer and 3 other Guardians would enter the field, and things were looking great at first. They were draining the other team's motes, and the new Gambit Prime armor seemed to work. But when the Primeval was summoned, things went south quickly. The other 3 Guardians were killed permanently, their ghosts crushed by the forces of the Taken. Joxer barely made it out himself. The Reckoning narrative preview tells us this story, and after that match, Joxer met with the Drifter and went off on him. He said, "How could you do this? You said this was just a test, yet these Guardians are dying." And the Drifter replied, "Where do you think you are? The Crucible? Gambit Prime is for keeps. Test or no." Drifter paid Joxer to keep him quiet, and he left with the Gambit Prime armor, told not to say a word to the Vanguard. What did Joxer do? He switched sides and actually joined the Vanguard, realizing the Drifter was wrong, horrified by his actions. In the Wither Horde lore, the pyramid ships begin to arrive in Season of the Arrivals. Joxer goes to meet with the Drifter on friendly terms one last time to warn him that maybe banking motes of darkness with the literal force of darkness on your doorstep was a bad idea. The Titan shakes his head in exasperation. Some people say those pyramids damn near wiped us out once. Nobody knows for sure, but if they do end up hostile, it's going to get heavy in a hurry, and you don't want to be the guy standing in the middle holding a bag of dark motes. And what the hell business is it of yours where I'm standing? The drifter asks as he plants his boots on the deck. He rises to his feet, the grenade launcher dangling from his hand. Unless I'm standing in your way. Joxer puts his hands up in mock surrender. You know what? I came here because I'm trying to change, making amends after what happened at Gambit Prime. I had to get right. And part of that is giving you some friendly advice to lay low for a while. He glances down at the dark motes. But if you don't want to hear reason, that's on you. Joxer trundles his way to the back of the ship. As the airlock hisses open, Drifter calls out, "That's real nice armor, Joxer. Don't forget where you got it." Fast forward to this season, Joxer was one of the brave souls who attempted to follow the witness through the portal and dies. In the Akashic Revelation card, we see this unfold and how the Guardian sees flashes of his previous life before he dies. His name was Eric. He had children and was nervous about the arrival of the Traveler in the Ares 1 mission. Rosy light bathes the cockpit of a hawk moving at cruising speed high above the Earth. Up ahead, the Traveler hangs motionless against the blackness of space, a triangular gateway of iridescent light bleeding from its shell. It was one thing volunteering for this mission, but sitting now on the precipice of the unknown, the Titan Joxer holds Dowd close to his chest. This isn't any different from the Ahamkara hunts, his ghost reassures. Reckless, hasty, and dangerous. Joxer glances over at his ghost and smiles, already feeling better. Two Cabal escorts on either side of Joxer's hawk stall their engines, letting the hawk proceed forward toward the Traveler. They say something over the comms in Ularenth. The translation roughly means, "Beyond the known is the terror of the universe," his ghost offers. Joxer's not sure if it's a warning, a curse, or a pep talk. Knowing the Cabal, it's all three. Easing the flight stick forward, Joxer moves the hawk ahead at a steady pace. His ghost's eye widens as the rosy light from the portal brightens, and the kaleidoscope surface is all that can be seen in any direction. Joxer's grip on the controls tightens as he feels a bone-deep sense of vertigo, echoes of piano notes tinkling in his periphery. He can feel hands on his chest beneath his armor, breath against his cheek inside his helmet. "Eric, come back to bed," a voice whispers inside his mind. He sees a city, a home, family, and children. He can't sleep. They aren't alone in the universe. The Ares project is going to... His ghost is screaming, shell coming apart at the seams. Joxer pulls himself back to reality and jerks the controls as the nose of the hawk touches the portal. He hears laughter, screams, feels lips on his cheek, hands on his shoulders as the ship begins to pass through. His ghost scream stretches from the moment of the Big Bang to the heat death of the universe. Joxer hears a scream he will make as his ship begins and ends. "Come back to bed." He catches up to the scream. So there you have the tale of Joxer all the way from the Ahamkara hunt to his presumable death here when he tried to enter the portal. So the cool thing is that this card kind of gives us some insight on what the portal does or perhaps what's on the other side. We saw the Final Shape trailer with Cade. Explanations from Neomuna describe it as a possible Rosen Bridge, a wormhole, where you can travel through time. And now Joxer here experiences events from his past and hears his own scream before it happens when he dies. Some Guardians go their whole Guardian life trying to research their past. Anna Bray wanted to know what happened before with Clovis Bray, Rasputin, and all of that, which led her on that witch hunt there on Mars. This Guardian wasn't searching for it, but it found him in this moment of death. His name was Eric. He lived in the city, had a home, family, and children, and this seemed to be the point in time where the Ares 1 project was going to Mars to first encounter the Traveler. The effects of this portal allows Joxer to feel this, feel his wife touching his shoulders, his face, and then it's interesting there with that line, "come back to bed" at the end. Was that just some random line or a nod towards the fact that Joxer is returning to his family by entering this portal, or at least trying to, like Cade returns in the Final Shape? Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. the story of what happened to Joxer, and let me know your thoughts about the portal in the comments down below. If you'd like to see some other Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.